Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome back to our series of lectures about semantics and pragmatics. This is lecture 5. In this lecture we're going to talk about sense relations, and this will be the first part where we talk about sense relations. We'll talk about other sense relations in the coming lecture as well. So in lecture 2, if you remember, we talked about the notion of sense, and we mentioned that the sense of an expression is the whole set of sense relations that it has with other expressions in the language. We said the sense is within the language, and we compared it with reference, which is the relationship between the language and the world. So the notion of sense, we look at for example, a lexical unit, and we say the relationship and the whole set of relationships that it has with other lexical units in the language. In this lecture we're going to talk about two of these sense relations, which are synonymy and antonymy. You might have came across these before, but we're going to talk more about them and give more detail, which are of course related to our study of semantics. So starting with synonymy, what is synonymy? So it's, we can give a definition of synonymy here. You might have guessed that it's the relationship between two lexical units. Lexical units are words. Here when we use lexical units we mean words in this case, that have the same sense. So two lexical units have the same sense, and they can be more than two as well. So words that have the same sense are called synonyms. So if we have two words that have the same sense, we call them synonyms. So here are some examples of pairs of synonyms. Buy and purchase, for example, the word buy and the word purchase are synonyms. I can say I bought something, or I purchased something from the store. So I purchased, I bought. We can use them to basically have the same sense, and this is why we call them synonyms. Hide and conceal. We can say the child hid the toy, or he concealed the toy. He hid the evidence, or he concealed the evidence. So hide and conceal can be seen as synonyms. Wide and broad, we can say this is a wide thing or a broad thing. Deep and profound are also synonyms. This is deep, and this is profound. So we can use them to have the same sense in particular sentences, and this is why we call them synonyms. However, we cannot say these are 100% words that have the same exact meaning. So this is why we don't really have real synonyms in a language. No two words really have the exact same meaning. There is no perfect synonymy in the language. It's really hard to find, and it might not even be possible. You can always say, well, these synonyms are different in this particular way. We're going to talk about 5 ways in which synonyms are different from each other. So why is that? Why can't we have perfect synonyms in a language? Because it is unlikely that they would have survived in the language. So two words that mean exactly the same meaning, doesn't really make sense that they would survive in the language. The language doesn't really need two words that have exactly 100% the same meaning. As we said, synonyms can differ. There are certain points in which they differ from each other. So we will look here at possible synonyms, and we see that there are at least 5 ways in which they can be seen to differ from each other, and we're going to list these ways as follow. The first way in which synonyms can differ from each other is that they belong to different dialects of the language. So for example, the word fall is used in the United States and in some Western countries of Britain. Another word like autumn, we can say that fall and autumn are synonyms, but really it's used in a different dialect. It's used in other counties of Britain, the word autumn. So fall and autumn are synonyms, and yet they differ because each one is used in a different dialect of a language. The second way in which synonyms differ is that they are used in different styles. So if we have words like gentleman, man, and chap, each of these words is used in a different style. So they all have the same meaning. We can say that these are all synonyms. Gentleman is a synonym of man, and chap is a synonym of man as well. but they are used in different styles, and these styles range from formal to colloquial. So you can say gentleman is more formal, and chap is used in more colloquial settings. So this is another difference between synonyms. They can differ depending on style. The third way in which synonyms differ, they can differ in the way they make the listener or the hearer feel. So they differ in their emotive or evaluative meaning, their effect on the listener or the hearer. So the remainder of their meaning remains the same, but the effect they have on people is different. The emotive and evaluative meaning is different. So look at the difference between the word politician and statesman, or the word hide and conceal, or the word liberty and freedom. If you know the meaning of these words very well, and you know how they are used, you will notice that one of them might imply approval and the other is disapproval. So when you say this is a politician, it might imply disapproval. If you say this is a statesman, it might imply approval on part of the speaker. The function of such words in languages is to influence attitudes. So when you use a particular word, a particular synonym instead of another one, you might want to influence the attitude of the hearer. They are chosen simply for the effect that they are likely to have on the listener or hearer. The fourth way in which synonyms are different from each other is that some of them are collocationally restricted. You remember we talked about collocation. We said that certain words appear together and other words cannot appear together. So if we have two synonyms, one of them can appear with certain words and another one can appear with other words. So some of them might be collocationally restricted. In other words, they occur only in conjunction with other words. For example, if we look at the word rancid, it only occurs with words like bacon and butter, while a word like adult only occurs with eggs and brain, even though rancid and adult can be seen as synonyms. So it would perhaps be argued that these are true synonyms that only differ in that they occur in different environments. As we said, perfect synonymy doesn't exist, but you can argue that these are perfect synonyms. They mean exactly the same thing, but the difference is that they are used with different words. The fifth way in which words differ from each other, many words are or synonyms differ from each other. Many of them are close in meaning, but their meaning overlaps. So they do not mean exactly the same. There is overlap in their meaning. So there is really a loose sense of synonymy between them. So look at the adjective mature, for example. We can say that possible synonyms of mature are words like adult, like ripe, like perfect. However, you do not really say that mature is 100% have the same meaning as perfect, or as ripe, or as adult, etc. The word govern, for example, we can say that synonyms are direct, control, determine, etc. But you can't say that govern means exactly the same as determine. There is overlap in meaning, and this kind of synonymy is the one that is used by the dictionary makers. If you look at the dictionary and you see definitions in the dictionary and synonyms that are provided in the dictionary, you will notice that they use words and say that these are synonyms, but really they do not really mean exactly the same. There is overlap in meaning, but there is also difference in meaning. Okay, so we move on to the second sense relation we're going to discuss in this lecture, which is antonymy. And again, you might know in antonymy previously from the previous studies. We say it's the relationship between two lexical units that have opposite sense. So two lexical units have opposite sense. Words that are opposites are called antonyms. Here we will talk about three different types of antonymy. The first one is called binary antonymy or complementarity. The second one is converses or what we call relational opposites. The third one is gradable antonyms. So three types of antonymy that we're going to look at here. So let's take a look at the first type, which is binary antonymy or complementarity. So basically these antonyms complement each other, and we'll see how they complement each other. Binary antonyms are lexical units which come in pairs. so there are usually two of each, and between them they exhaust all the relevant possibilities. So there are no relevant possibilities between them. We'll look at an example to make this clearer. So if one antonym is applicable, if in a particular situation one antonym is applicable, then the other one cannot be applicable, and also vice versa. So look at these antonyms: dead and alive, married and unmarried. We say that if in a particular situation we use the word dead with a person, he cannot be alive. So it is not applicable that he is also alive at the same time. If someone is married, you cannot also say that he is unmarried. So these are called binary antonyms. They complement each other based on meaning. So if one is used, the other one is not applicable in a particular situation. The second type of antonyms is what we call converses or relational opposites. So in the case of converses, one word describes a relationship between two things or two people. So we use this word to describe the relationship between two people, and at the same time another word, another antonym describes the same relationship when the two things are mentioned in the opposite order. So if we have two people and you want to mention a relationship between this person A and person B, you will use one of the antonyms. If you want to describe a relationship in the other way, in the opposite way, between B and A, you will use the other antonym, and this is what we call converses. And we will take an example to make this clear. In this case, we say that the two lexical units are converses of each other. Converses of each other. Look at this example. Parent and child are converses. They are antonyms, and they are of the type of antonymy that we call conversions of meaning. So if we say Ahmed is the parent of Ali, this is the order. If we have Ali, Ahmed and Ali, and we look at this way, we say Ahmed is the parent of Ali. But if we look at the opposite order, we have the word child to describe the relationship in the opposite order. So this describes the same relationship as Ali is the child of Ahmed. So Ali is the child of Ahmed, Ahmed is the parent of Ali, and this is what the child and parent are examples of converses. So if we look at the opposite order, you will use one word. If you look at the other order, you will use the other word. So the notion of converseness can be applied to examples in which three referents are mentioned as well. So in the previous example we had two referents. We had parent and child. We had Ahmed and Ali, for example, and Ali and Ahmed in the second sentence. We can also have three references in a sentence, and we can have this notion of converseness, and it applies as is in the case of words like buy and sell. So look at this example. John bought a car from Fred. Fred sold a car to John. Here we have three references. We have John, we have car, and we have Fred, and we have the antonyms bought and sold. So if John bought a car from Fred, that means Fred sold him the car. So if you look at the opposite order, you will use sold. If you look at the other order, you will use bought. And this is what we call in the types of antonymy converseness or converse antonyms. The third type is gradable antonyms. So gradable antonyms are two words at the opposite ends of continuous scale of values. We imagine a scale of values like a ruler, and we imagine two words at the opposite ends, at the ends of the ruler, and between them we will have other words that describe lesser grades of these two extremes at each opposite end. So look at this example, hot and cold. We call these gradable antonyms. So between hot and cold we will have words like warm, cool, and tepid. So these two antonyms, hot and cold, are called gradable antonyms because we have sets of values on a scale between them. There is a good way to test gradability. We can see if the word can be used with very or very much or how much. So let's take a look at an example here. So if we have the antonyms far and near, how can we decide if they are gradable antonyms or not? we can test it by saying this is very near, or this is very far, or how far is it. So if they take these words, very and how far and so on, that means they are gradable antonyms. Compare this to other types of antonymy that we mentioned previously. In the case of antonyms like married and unmarried, we cannot really use very or very much or how much with these antonyms. So you don't really normally say he is very married, or he is very unmarried, or even he is very dead, or he is very alive, except if you know if you mean a particular meaning that you want to convey. But it's not really likely to say very unmarried or very married. And we normally wouldn't say how alive is he with these antonyms. With dead and alive, you don't really say how alive is he. So this is just a basic test to see if an antonym is gradable or not. Okay, so these are the types of antonyms of antonymy. We also talked about synonymy. These are two sense relations that are found in languages. In the next lecture, we're going to talk about two other sense relations. So I'll see you then, inshallah, and hopefully you found this lecture useful and interesting. Thank you.